Street vendors deserve dignity. Street vendors deserve to be protected. They add so much to our community. They feed every single one of our bellies.
On November 20th, 2025, over 30 people showed up to Pomona City Council. Vendors, families, community members. We came with a letter, backed by months of work. This is what we were met with. The City of Pomona says it publicly supports the immigrant community, but support without action isn't support. By choosing not to act, the city has made entrepreneurship for immigrants nearly impossible by not supporting street vending. Let's be clear, home vending is not street vending. Not everyone has access to housing. Not everyone can vend from a private home. Public streets should be accessible to the public. This is happening in a dangerous political climate, and vendors are being targeted. A few months ago, we met with a street vendor who hardly trusted us with her story. They were afraid, and they had every reason to be. Since last year, their sales had already dropped, not because people didn't care, but because fear followed them everywhere. The constant presence of ICE changed how they worked and how safe they felt. Then, within the past few weeks, that same vendor was kidnapped by ICE. For 5 years, this vendor showed up in Pomona, selling fresh, delicious snacks, feeding neighbors day after day. They showed up, and in a moment, all of that was taken away. They were forced to leave behind their family, their bills, the life they had worked so hard to build. What remains is fear, loss, and a community missing someone who belonged. This is what inaction looks like. This is what fear does. Street vendors are not just vendors. They are neighbors. They are community, and Pomona feels their absence. They are entrepreneurs who contribute to Pomona's economy. Fear is real, and city inaction only makes it worse. Public Council writes on behalf of Pomona street vendors, advocates, and gente organizada. The city's sidewalk vending regulations failed to comply with California Government Code 51036. In particular, the city's vending requirements related to liability insurance, operations, distancing, and size of vending operations violate SB 946 and appear to have been drafted and implemented without consideration of vendors lived experience, input, and feedback. These aren't allegations, these are lived experiences. The city's response? They said they'd review the letter and claim the allegations aren't true, but vendors live the truth every day. If Pomona truly supports immigrants, then it must act like it. That means making street vending accessible on public streets, creating more safe areas to vend, and ending policies that criminalize survival for street vendors. We showed up, we did the work. Now it's time for the City of Pomona to do theirs.
Siento que Pomona, lejos de ayudar a los vendedores ambulantes, hace más difícil generar un ingreso. Yo no quiero depender de la ayuda de la ciudad. Yo soy proactiva, todo el tiempo he sido proactiva. Entonces, creo que la ciudad necesita más espacios para que podamos tener acceso a poder sacar nuestros permisos más.
Vendors are not the problem. Inaction is.
I drive to Pomona now. I don't even feel the spirit of my city because there are no street vendors on. There were mothers who were selling flowers, getting harassed by people in the city. Make it make sense.
It's time for our community to voice their opposition to the criminalization of our hardworking immigrant community.